Hello everybody, this is the Aussie Arrowhand. What you are watching today is part of a research stream series about Buddhism. And what I hope to do here is I just hope to broaden my knowledge of Buddhism a little further, and I also hope to refresh myself on stuff that I already know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Wikipedia page, Glossary of Buddhism. So what we have here is a glossary. And if you're a bit younger and you don't know what a glossary is, what it is, it's an A to Z list of all the terms and jargon that have to do with this subject. And I often find whenever I'm studying a new subject, whether it is English literature or mathematics or history, if you look through the textbooks, often there is a glossary included. And I think a glossary is a really great way to study a subject. It might not be the best way for someone who's new or needs to be introduced to the subject, but I think if you look through every word here and you understand every word here and you're able to connect it to its higher context, that you would have a pretty good understanding of a subject. In this case, I think one of the things that I find interesting about this glossary of Buddhism is that Buddhism has many different schools. It has many different regional variants. And all of them are going to have their own set of words. These are words that describe concepts and practices. There's going to be different people involved. There's going to be a lot of historical context. So even if we look here, what we see, languages and traditions dealt with here, you can see that we've got Buddhism in the West, Theravada, Mahayana, Tibetan Buddhism, Chinese Buddhism, Japanese Buddhism, Korean Buddhism. There's a lot of different Buddhisms. And I think if you were to read through this entire article, you would find a lot of different concepts. Some of them, they're all going to belong to different parts of Buddhism. And so, at first, if I read something like Abhidhamma, for example, a category of scriptures that attempts to use Buddhist teachings to create a systematic, abstract description of all worldly phenomena. Very good. But if we actually click on that and open it, we see that it belongs to the Theravada tradition. So let's read on. The Theravada Abhidhamma tradition, known as the Abhidhamma method, refers to a scholastic systemization of the Theravada school's understanding of the highest Buddhist teachings, Abhidhamma. So that's the Theravada concept. If we go back here, let's have a look at the next one. So this here says the Avatamsaka Sutra, the Garland Scripture. So if we go to that page, the Buddhavatamsaka Sutra. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. So this here is one of the most influential Mahayana sutras of East Asian Buddhism. So Mahayana, and some people might be asking, what is that? If you don't know Buddhism, Mahayana is one of the major schools. And Theravada is one of the other major schools. Theravada is Buddhism's oldest existing school. Mahayana is the largest branch of Buddhism. So there are some really strong key differences between these schools. And here we have two words that we've pulled out. So Abhidhamma and Avatamsaka Sutra. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Okay, one's referring to a category of scriptures and one is referring to a sutra. So what I hope to do here is each video I do, I want to go through a few of these pages and then I want to access some resources to try and strengthen my understanding. I might close some of these tabs here. We go back to the Glossary of Buddhism page. There are other glossaries of Buddhism. So if we go to Google, we type in Glossary of Buddhism, let's see what comes up. So we got the Wikipedia page, then we've got a page from Gaia House Retreat Center, Glossary of Buddhist Words. We've got Glossary of Basic Buddhist Vocabulary from the province of Manitoba. We've got a site called Dharma Wisdom, Glossary of Buddhist Terms. And Lion's Roar, Buddhism A to Z. Let's open that one. So if we take a look at these, and we go to Gaia House, Insight Meditation into the Buddhist Tradition. I don't know what Gaia House is. So let's go to About Us, About Gaia House, the story of Gaia House. The story of Gaia House has its roots in the 5th century BCE India with a man called Gautama, known as the Buddha, the awakened one. Yeah, okay. So it's just talking about the Buddha there. Where is it? Is there a history of the building? Where is it located? Will it tell me that? Oh, there we go. Gaia House is a silent meditation retreat centre, a sanctuary of contemplative calm set amongst the gentle hills and the quiet woodlands of South Devon. I don't know where South Devon is. That sounds British to me. Let's have a look. South Devon refers to the southern part of Devon, England. Right, so it is English. Yep, South Devon. So there we go. Gaia House is British. So they have Buddhism over there too. Buddhism is in every country of the world. I live in Australia. I'm sure that we have our own sort of hubs of Buddhism here. We definitely do. Okay, so if we look through the glossary of Buddhist words here, let's read a few of them. We've got Ajahn Chah, an influential 20th century forest monk and Dharma teacher from Thailand. Advaita Vedanta, an Indian spiritual tradition emphasizing non-duality. Awakening, the unfolding process or journey towards a state of mind where suffering ceases. Okay, so you get a little bit of an idea of what kind of words they're focusing on here. But if you notice, this glossary is different from the Wikipedia one. It starts with Ajahn Chah, who is a person. If we go over here, it starts with the Abhidhamma. So let's read on and look at the next one. So we've got this Dharma Wisdom website, Glossary of Buddhist Terms. abbreviated glossary of Buddhist terms. This one starts with the Abhidhamma, but then it moves to anatta, not self, ownerless, anicca, inconstant, unsteady, impermanent. Alright, so I think maybe they've skipped a few words here. So is anitta in here? Is it? Let's have a look. Where is it? Anatta, anicca. Sorry, anicca. Impermanence. So, alright, that just says impermanence. Anicca, inconstant, unsteady, impermanent. Anatta, the principal denial of the soul in any phenomena. See also negative theology. Alright, so you can see the definitions are different. They're going to explain things in different ways. But if I go to this Wikipedia article, I can open up the page and go more for a deep dive. So I really love the interconnectedness of the internet that way. It's one of my favourite things in the world. So, okay, so we see there's, different words, different emphases. If we go to Lions Roar, Buddhism A to Z, I really like this website. So Lions Roar, if you are unfamiliar, it is a publication. I think they have a physical magazine. I do know that they publish online articles. It's a really good website. It says Buddhist wisdom for our time. These are articles about Buddhism written by scholars and practitioners about modern everyday things. So to digress a little bit, let's go to I'll just show you the site. For example, they will have an article, how to create a meditation space. That's nice. All beings deserve to be free. Palestinian mindfulness practitioner Gadia Shafi reflects on Gaza, and Thich Nhat Hanh's Doors of Liberation. So I really like Thich Nhat Hanh. I would like to read that article. I will come back to this, but Lions Roar is a really good website. I believe it is a paid subscription, but you can read a few articles on there for free. I'm hoping that you can use the Buddhist Glossary for free. But this one is different again from these because it has these thumbnails that sort of illustrate the concept it is talking about, which is kind of cool. How would you how would you illustrate the concept of the three kinds of suffering here? The free seems to be trembling. It has tears. Suffering is written in this sort of, trembling sort of font. That's kind of cool. But the point is it's dressed up. It's pretty. It's meant to make it look a bit more nice. So, and this is more of a popular Buddhism sort of website. So we click on the free jewels, for example, and we'll see what sort of article comes up. So the free jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha are the central pillars of Buddhist faith and practice, representing the ideals that Buddhists endeavour to personify. So that's really cool. And there's a good article here. It's short, explains, each of the free jewels. So we look at B, Bardo, Beginner's Mind, Buddhist Beliefs. We go back to the A's, we've got the Abhidhamma, but we've also got addiction, aging, which is interesting because these are more wider topics. I guess they talk about how Buddhism addresses them, which is really cool. And there was another glossary there. Where is it? This Province of Manitoba one. Let's have a look. This one's a PDF. And let's look at the words we've got. Abhidhamma Pitaka, one of the three baskets of Buddhist sacred texts. The term simply means higher Dharma or higher teachings, which is a systematic attempt to define the Buddha's teachings and understand their interrelationships. Okay. Ajahn, Thai term for teacher or mentor. And there you go. So, Ajahn Chah, that word means teacher. There's a few Buddhist words for teacher. You've got Te, you've got, is it Raponche? There's a few. I will look them all up and sort of go into those over time, but yeah. So I guess this gives, I think this will give you a little bit of a taste of what I do on stream. Um, this is just an introductory video, and yeah, I will say that I've never streamed before. I've been waiting a long time to find some sort of I guess, an online identity that I can use, or some sort of reason to start posting things online. I've watched a lot of YouTube in my time. I have a great sort of love and respect for many creators out there. Yeah, this is really cool. And I hope, and this is one of my hopes here, is that I've been thinking a lot about bodhisattvahood and how I can get out there and sort of spread the word about Buddhism. And yeah, I've up to this point, I've read a lot of books, I've watched a lot of videos, watched, I've, yeah, I've done a lot of my own sort of self-study about this, and I have accepted Buddhism into my life as the path I wish to follow, and I want to know more about it. So I would thank you for joining me on this journey. I've got a lot to learn. I'm sure that my way of thinking about things now is going to change dramatically. But what I'm hoping to do is just find some sort of way to engage with all of these wonderful resources that we have online about Buddhism. I read books too. I would like to find a way to talk about these on stream. And yeah, I think I'll just leave it there. That was a pretty good first stream. So if anyone has watched this, thank you for listening.